Hey everybody, I am APH, and I just kind of wanted to touch bases with you guys before I started today's regular episode. I'm on the Lost Oasis. No, I'm on the Last Oasis. My brain just doesn't put names and faces and everything together correctly all the time. So yeah, I'm on the Last Oasis. I am about 4 cycles in. Well, I'm 4 cycles, 3 days in. I'm just getting to a decent point in the game. I'm not quite ready to start the series yet, but I'm kind of getting close where I've put some levees and some dams over here to kind of expand out our water. I've placed some levees and some dams over here to kind of expand up our water. I do want to expand it up just a little bit higher first, as well as like to get some resources and kind of get some things going as we are kind of getting going. But there is something else that is about this series that I'd like you guys to know. I will not be playing this in the traditional sense. So I will click on plant crops and you're going to see that we have cattails, atterdock. I'm probably slaughtering that. Over in our trees, you're going to notice that we have chestnut trees. And if we find a pine tree, you're going to notice that it glistens. That's right. It has resource gathering, pine resin. So as we get into some of our other buildings, like our woodworking buildings, you're going to see that there is a wood workshop, which uses resin and a plank to create a type of sparkling plank, a tapper's shack. Wow, a tapper's shack. I promise it's late in the morning for me. I've had kind of a rough day at work. It ended up being a very long day, kind of getting ready for Thanksgiving. So it just ended up being an exorbitant day. So we've got a couple new buildings over in our food. We have an aquatic farmhouse, and that kind of goes with our aquatic plants. These are planted in the water. And over in our, I believe it's over in our leisure. Yeah, our leisure, we have some Lido, I believe is how that's said, which is a perfect place to relax by the river. It allows for 7 visitors. We have the mud bath, which again, infused with bubbles. A mud bath mechanically infused with bubbles. Yeah, it takes 50 horsepower. That's something new. And then we have the observatory, which again allows beavers to learn about space. 8 visitors, and I believe we have some things over in water collection. Yes, we have a mechanical water pump, which takes 700 horsepower, more efficient than the regular water pump. So it says that it pumps water and then discharges water. So it gives me the impression that it is the water pump and the water dump all in one that is powered by power. I believe this is in response to people playing on hard mode where the creation of power is a big issue. But I don't want to go too much further on this, as I don't want to kind of ruin my gameplay. So I'm going to go ahead and end this intro here, and we're going to pick up in the regular episode. So I might do something like greet you guys again. Just know that these recordings were made at different times. Hey everybody, I'm APH and welcome back to Timberborn. We are cycle 32, day 18. Yeah, that's right. We're in the middle of the cycle. We're not at the beginning of the cycle. I believe it was a 28-day cycle, a 28-day drought. And you're going to notice some things have kind of changed in between episodes. So primarily there's some buildings over here kind of getting ready for this, as well as I've kind of done some planning. I've plotted out this route right here. I'm to a point in the series where I believe that we need to focus more on meaningful content. Speaking of meaningful content, I have heard hints that there's going to be a beta branch opening up, and if there is a beta branch, I will be playing the Lost Oasis on the beta branch, and I will try to, depending on when it drops, I will try to do a little bit of a forerunner, kind of hinting towards some things. You'll also notice on the channel that I am now featuring Ceramic Gaming. He is a member of my Discord. He has a lot of videos in the same genre, and today's episode may be a little bit short. That's very, very off week at work, as this week for the US is Thanksgiving. It is currently Wednesday morning at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I have been at work kind of doing the work thing, and instead of getting out at 11 o'clock at night, I got out a little bit later and came home to a screaming child. So it's been very much of a little bit of a rough day nonetheless. So editing this may be a little bit of a bit of a lost cause for the moment. So it may come out Thanksgiving Day or maybe a little bit late Thanksgiving. I do plan on having episodes throughout the week. The original recording of this episode was days 1 through 17. And then after I recorded it, I watched it and I was like, a lot of this stuff I have done with you guys over and over and over again. And it's just not new. It's not fresh. And I'm hoping that in the new series, I kind of have a direction that I want to take this series in, as long as the new content doesn't kind of interfere with that. In order to be a little bit more meaningful, there will probably be some bigger cuts between episodes, and we might experience some bigger cuts between episodes now, as we are ever so getting close to the end here. We are maybe one cycle away from being to over here, where we will be building around the waterway, and we are maybe 2 or 3 cycles, depending on how wood goes, from being done with this. And I would like to kind of, as we take a look at the lost, I keep wanting to call it the Lost Oasis, maybe it is the Lost Oasis, the last Oasis. As we take a look at the new map, I will probably do a couple episodes of that while I'm finishing up this, and then I will transition over to that as we box this in. We've won this game, flat out and simple. We've won this. We're just dragging this out, as we have not quite finished our goal. Our goal is to kind of, get all the way up to here. But that is enough waffle. Let's go ahead and kind of jump into things. Now, I did plot out this section of wall right here. The reason that I'm going with this right here is I can build up this, start backtracking it this way. When I hit this point, I can build my staircase up and have it ready to go so that I can kind of replace it. At the same time, I need some logs stored up in order to kind of make this happen. I also need some food stored up, because when we hit this point, we're going to have a backup issue where we kind of don't have food and don't have wood while we make the transition. So it's going to be, unless I can get over here and get wood temporarily, or just flat out get wood, unless maybe I can send it in. Maybe that's the other option. There has to be a transition to kind of make this happen. Speaking of things that need to happen, we need some breeding pods over here. And I talked about meaningful content, and me placing breeding pods to me is no longer meaningful. But for this episode, I didn't really plan on making a transition in the series. I'm going to tell you that right now. So this episode may have some things in it that I would probably, houses being one of them. After this episode, I probably won't show off houses ever again. I might show it when it's done and be like, this is how it turned out. But to get started, I'm just not going to be showing it going forward, unless it's something really cool. I'm like, I want to show you guys this before it builds to kind of give the layout. I do want, for this area, you're going to see all these water pumps. You're also going to see that the water wheels are going. I had a couple of comments about use dams to kind of get this going. And the problem with dams is, as this side over here drops, it would go below the dam. So I might get a couple of days in the season where it would work, but for the most part, we're going to lose out to the fact that we just have to have a reliable water source. And water dumps is the only way we're going to do that. I do want, as our water storage is way over here, I did place in a hauler in order to kind of help with things, but I want our water storage a little bit closer. I believe this is a double and then a triple, and we're going to go ahead and replicate that into a 2x6, a 2x3 in order to kind of build up the area that we want. And we're going to drop our water storage right here for the future, and we'll connect it up right now. This will allow them just to store the water here and immediately run it back and forth. All of them are prioritized by the hauler, so the hauler again will just be able to fire that. Now you're going to notice that we have 13 homeless, and this goes right back into what I was saying. Oh man, this is a 2 and then a 3, and then I look over here, it is a 3 and a 2. I did those reverse. I am not a good person. Oh man. Speaking of that, for those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. If you're celebrating a different holiday right now, by all means, leave a comment down below what holiday you're celebrating. And as, at least for us, Christmas is coming up. We're getting ready for that. We've got some big specials and some things coming up. I've heard Timberborn is going to be on sale. Now I've had some comments about the pricing of Timberborn, and it is something that I have not talked about before. At least I don't believe I can. I have, that is. So let's talk about pricing as I put up some decor, and I'm only going to put up this one row of decor for a specific reason. That's so they could come build this and then kind of go from there. I do want to get some priorities kind of going here. So we're just going to prioritize that, and we're going to prioritize this. Yeah, we'll prioritize that. All right, let's talk about the price of Timberborn. So I'm US, so I always talk US dollars. If you're from a different information. I would expect that you can kind of relate to what I say in the contents of what I say it. So I'm going to round it to the closest dollar, which it's a $25 game for me. It's $24.99. I'm just rounding it to 25 to be easy. And games like Banished, Kingdoms Reborn, a few other in the genre, Settlement Survival, are all $20. My personal opinion is they should knock that 20% off the game and make it a $20 game. So we're going to come on over here for a second and kind of look at our happiness. With that, I think that after marking it down to $20 for Thanksgiving, they should be marking it down 20%, 25%, marking it down to $15. I also think that for Christmas, they should mark it down to $10. Now, the game is relatively new, so I don't believe this is going to happen, but that is my personal opinion of what should happen. My personal opinion is it should be a little cheaper than it is regular, and then on top of that, it should be even lower during the holidays. Now you can see our well-being over here is 15. That's amazing. I didn't quite get a good look. It looks like we're just missing the tribute and we're missing the carousel. The carousel will get going as soon as we have an exorbitant amount of power, which we have. Let's go ahead and light that boy up. Yes, please. I had to do some rearranging over here. I put up the breeding pods up above and I cleared out down below. I do think that we want some more maple trees down here, and we're going to go ahead and fill those in. Yes, I am liking that. Hopefully in the future they do something with trees so that it's a little bit more meaningful than just having maple trees. I have to say it's a little disgusting that the only viable tree in the game is pine in the early game and then maple in the late game. I really hope that they do something with that makes the game, the trees more viable. I believe that it's kind of disgusting. We do have this builder over here. Let's go ahead and pause it. Let's unpause this one. Get them all shifted around. Ooh, man, I only have enough to put one person in there. Let's get rid of that one, and let's go ahead and pause this so we have one unemployed beaver. We can go with just the one because they're not building a whole lot. And speaking of not building a whole lot, I have to figure out if there's a forester nearby that can plant this area, or if I just want to allow the berries to naturally move into this area. I also think that let's go ahead and pause up the lumber mills and the power wheels that go with them, as we really could use the beavers back in the builder, so we'll go ahead and go that route. I do want to get rid of this. I think importing them from Padnos is a way better idea than using them and producing them over here, as Padnos is far superior with its power that it's generating, as well as the fact that it's got four lumber mills plus it's producing its own power. I think that is just far superior. I think for Padnos itself, we currently, so just so you can see, the only homeless we have are the 11 that is up in Ren, and we only have 2 unemployed beavers, so we're at a little bit better place. Taking a look at Padnos, we are again 15, and you can see that we have the tribute of I'm not gonna, you guys pick on me enough for my bad English, and I learned bad English growing up, so I'm not even gonna try to pronounce things because you guys like to correct me. Sometimes I watch tutorial videos on how to say things, and then by the time I get into the game, I still don't. So I did run some funky power up here to get it going. I also have some walkways. We can probably clean up the walkway just a little, just to kind of bring it together, as we don't need beavers walking up there. It gets that cleaned up, but you can see it's paused and we're still getting the bonus from it. That's pretty spectacular. I didn't think we were going to get the bonus for it. Let's go ahead and unpause the carousel to kind of get them that should get them a solid 16. And taking a quick look, roofs is again the biggest issue, and I've got some ideas of how to fix that, and some of it will be okay, some of it's a little bit ugly. I don't think, and I'm going to put a big emphasis on this, I think with all of the extra stuff, oh, just like that, our power went down. Let's go ahead and unpause, or let's go ahead and pause that while our power's down. I don't like what they did with roofs, shrubs, and the beaver statues. I don't. I get why they did it. I don't like that they did it. I was perfectly happy with the way the game was. Today, so I had a bad day at work, and it's subsequently, excuse the French. I usually try to stay family. It's making me bitchy. So I am Karen today. flat out and simple. Let's do something right here so we can put roofs on top of these in the future to try to get our beavers to be a little bit happier. Yeah, let's do something right here. And we're just going to, since it's within the neighborhood, we're just going to bring that up to the same height. We're going to go ahead and do some one highs, and we're going to put the labor monument. You know what? Let's place the labor monument right there. Let's place the flame right there. When they are built, I will go ahead and bulldoze this and place roofs up there, much to my disliking. I don't think I have an option. Flat out and simple. I think that the game has left me in a place where so for those of you who came to the channel because I was playing Kingdoms Reborn, the game to me ran into a place where immersion was broken because of some issues. And one of the issues was meaningful content. And in this kind of whole micromanaging thing is, to me, not meaningful content. I get why they did it, but I don't necessarily agree with the means don't justify the ends, basically. That's about as much as that I will go into that. For those of you who have watched my Kingdoms Reborn series and are wondering why I have not gone back to it, I am on the beta branch. I will be going back to it, and I will kind of be doing a good, bad, and ugly of the game, and we will kind of go over a bunch of things as to why I haven't been playing. But I just touched on one of the points here, which is immersion in the game kind of got broken for me, and when the immersion got broken, it set off a chain reaction, and I'll kind of go over that in another video. So with this being a solid 15, it is now a 16, by the way, because the carousel's up and going. It is not a 16 because the carousel's up and going. It is a 16 because they are all asleep underneath the roofs. This is what I'm talking about with I don't like this. At the end of the day, the fact that they all have roofs will have dropped down and they will no longer have roofs. To me, that is too micromanaging. That means for this, I have to tear down all of this and get roofs pretty much everywhere over here. As right now we are 14. And I'm betting you we are 14 with, it looks like everything is solid except for the campfire, the carousel, and the tribute. And the tribute and the carousel are not built. The beaver statue and shrub, well, I know why the shrubs aren't. It's because I don't have shrubs over the water here, and I don't have shrubs over my water up here. This is an easy fix. We've kind of done this a few times where I just kind of do something like this. You know, let's go ahead and plot a few. Let's get rid of that one, clean up my mess here. Let's place some deco up here. See, this right here is what I'm talking about, meaningful content. You guys don't need to see me do this. You guys just need that to show up and be like, look, it's amazing. These kind of look good. I do want to do something in here. You know what? Let's place a statue here is kind of a meme. We should be able to name the statues. We would name this one. Oh, that is god awful. Let's turn that. Let's have that facing kind of away. We'll go that way. I should be able to name it something cool like Karen. This area looks kind of good. We've got a lot of the explosives kind of ready. I did knock down the one level between episodes, and we have kind of got ways. We only have 8 explosives throughout the whole entire area, and it's kind of coming together. It's just a little bit slow. I do want to close this up. Part of me wishes I could place a water wheel there. Oh yeah, hey guys, I built all the rest of the water wheels. Talk about meaningful content that you guys didn't need to see. I filled all that in without you guys seeing. Something. And I think that's the way the content's going to go in the future, where things you don't need to see, you're just. But enough about that. Showcase. Hey, this is all going. Altogether, it produces a little over 16,000 HP when it is all going, which is nice. We've got some girls up here, and for this down here, why I didn't get comments about this, I don't know, but I turned the farms around so they're facing in. Originally, I had them facing out with walkways up. At some point in time, I looked at that and was like, God, that's ugly. And they're kind of having some issues because there's not a whole lot of farmland and there's a whole lot of farms. I also had to place a water dump because this area, there's like a little strip in here that was getting dried out, and that's kind of like one of those little quirky things that apparently happened. A little bit more of it's going to become dried out when this gets emptied, and I'm not ready to start filling that yet. That's probably a couple episodes away. And we finished up this. Now, we finished up this about 2 days into the cycle, and they only had 2 rows left to go. Which tells me if I didn't do this section right here, which I've since deleted out to kind of open this up, they would have been able to finish it. That tells me I should have trusted myself. For the next episode, we do need to fill this in, so we are going to go ahead and fill this in. I do want to break off another district here, maybe. We're at a weird part in the game. I'm to a point where expanding is expanding to expand, not expanding because it is meaningful. So I'm at a weird part in the game right now where, to me, I've already won this game, and that is like the worst. Oh, let's get a 1 high down there. For those of you who are OCD, I'm sorry. You didn't see me just place a 3 high, a 1 high, and then a 3 high. Just trust me, it went 1 high, 3 high, 3 high to get up to the top. Promise. Wink, wink. Yeah. To me, I've already won the game. So to me, playing from here is just to finish up goals, as I've unlocked all the technology. I've had all the technology unlocked for probably around 16 cycles. I've had metal for a long time. I have had the ability to build great big structures. I have expanded my food production to I'm up to 13,000 food. I've expanded my wood and my plank production where I have thousands of each. I've expanded my water to where I've got thousands of each. We have lived through a 30-day, a 29-day, a 30-day, a 32-day, and I believe a 35-day. If I did not include that 35-day in there, I'm pretty sure we had one. This area over here, the way station, I haven't showcased it in a while, and maybe I should have been because I took a look at it between episodes just to see how they were doing, and we have cleared out a ton of area. And something that I did, which was kind of comical, is this scavenger flag was right here, and they could not get to this right here. So I built this ladder up here, and I'm like, why the heck couldn't they get to that? And then I realized what it was, and then I moved it. And that's like one of those moments where I was like screaming at myself going, you're an idiot, because all I had to do was move that and not build this ladder, and it would have been so much easier. They were to the point where they couldn't get anything anymore, so I had to kind of rearrange some things in order to kind of get it to where our scavengers were getting things. Like this ladder wasn't here, and this area was blocked off, and there was another issue making it to where they couldn't get to this one over here, but I think that's what actually dragged me over here, is I had a nothing in range tag, and when I clicked on it, it brought me over here, and I was like, oh my god, because there was so much more here a few episodes ago, and we're probably an episode or 2 away from being done. Then we will be able to close this down, and we'll be able to figure out if we're doing something else here or what we're doing. And that brings us over here. Now this area again has some campfire and some rooftop terrace issues. I have no idea how to fix that. I'm a little frustrated about it, to be honest. What we can do is, as we finish up this, and we'll be able to remove our builders huts, we'll be able to do some things with that. I do want to, now that I know the tribute doesn't require power in order to run, I would like to get a tribute somewhere over here. And part of me says that if I played my cards right, I could place a tribute that would cover both of these. So I don't know whether I'm going to do that or not, because oh man, it's finding a spot. Yeah, like covering these houses is definitely not going to be an issue. Covering the other houses. So if I placed it on top of this, it would be just shy, which means I need to place it somewhere around here to cover both. I have some thoughts on how to make this work. I have some thoughts on how to make this work. So I don't know if we're going to do one tribute for both, or if we're going to do 2. But if I placed it here, it would most definitely cover the houses from both areas. And all it would really take is moving that drop off point, which is very doable. Big yawn. All right, let's go ahead and detonate this. Now, the purpose of this area right here is I just wanted it to be flat to make it a little bit more easy to work with, and we're going to go ahead and bring our path out there. Now, for this area, now that it is flattened down, you can see I knocked down a couple chunks to kind of get it there. What I want over here is, in my leisure, I would like some campfires. I'm thinking a total too far. Oh, too far. That's because there's no stairs. I was going to be like, why is it too far from the builders? Let's go with 3. Let's fix that one. Wrong one. Jeez. these P8s. Let's place this one there, and there. Let's go with 3 and 3 for a total of 6, as we are knowing that campfires is a big issue. And then across from that, we're going to match it up with this one. We're going to go ahead and place our temple. So yeah, that will kind of draw together this area. Then we're going to have to find room for our rooftop terraces. Now, we know that it's going to have to go up on the walkway itself up here, and that's going to require us to knock down the section of the middle. And to do that, we're going to have to build this out. Oh man, let's get rid of this before they build it, and let's go ahead and expand this kind of all the way. And since we know that they will most definitely drop this once the walkways are kind of up top, so we're just going to get our pathing in, and then in the next episode or so we can get some rooftop terraces up here, as it's nice and close to the houses, and we can get maybe our paper and explosive production kind of going. My guess is between now and the next episode, I'll have already built all of this. I will have already built all of this. We'll probably have put our paper facility over here, as you guys have seen me build that 3 times now. I don't think you guys need to see me build it. Just know there's going to be a paper facility here in the future. And yeah, I think we're in kind of a good shape. Oh man, look at all of our water going. It's going up to there. Let's grab a wheel real quick. We're at 9,000 horsepower. We're getting close. I think we're just shy of our goal here. So I think that we're going to need a couple of more water dumps to kind of maintain it. So that's something that I'm going to have to look at. Part of that might be some more population over here, and maybe rearranging, maybe moving these water pumps over here. I hope. So power is very micromanagey in the game. You have the folktales, which have the 2 windmills, and they are wind based, and it is very funky. Like, they're not affected by height. You can't tell where the wind is. It's not consistent, which puts it in line with the actual water wheel. Now, the water wheel can only run when water's moving, but we can manipulate water to run, unlike the wind. And then you have the iron teeth, who have the generator. Now, the generator requires 24 logs a day, and in order to maintain that, I believe it takes 72 maples and somewhere in the 200 or so range for pines, and somewhere in the 500 or 600 range for birch. Just not even worthwhile. So that's kind of our methods for power creation. And in order to get water wheels to work nonstop, you have to use pumps and dumps. And I've kind of seen some different methods for kind of getting it working. This is just only one. But while we're here, let's go ahead and get our next couple of roofs kind of going. I believe these are 1s, and then our 2 there. So that's kind of, what we're looking at here. So again, probably in the next episode, we'll probably have this all the way brought over here, and we'll probably have this partially closed off depending on how much wood we get. We'll most definitely be to this corner up here, and we'll probably be ready to place the district up here. But I think that's pretty much all for today. Maybe a little bit of a shorter episode as things were rough, and it's probably going to be a really late release. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.